over the long term, your body's ability to maintain the weight that you want to maintain, any kind of optimal weight, your body's ability to maintain optimal weight is going to depend on the health of that body. Hey there, I'm Dr. Del Millers, and this is Energize Your Life After 50. You see, the goal of this podcast is to help you answer one simple question, and that is, how do you want to live the next chapter in your life? Do you want to keep it as it is, or do you want more? Do you want to be better, fitter, stronger, healthier without meds, more confidence, more sex appeal? Do you want to get your mojo back? Maybe you want to be the you've always thought you could be. So each week we'll look at simple ways to intentionally create your next chapter, prioritizing your health, your physicality, your emotional and spiritual well-being, as well as looking and feeling your best. Are you up for the challenge? Then let's get moving. All right, guys, Dr. Del here. Hope you're doing great out there. Today, I want to talk to you about your health. And specifically, I want to talk to you about why you may not be as healthy as you think. You see, if there's one thing we've learned over the past couple of years with this pandemic, is that Americans are very unhealthy. I mean, we've always known that. We know that 75% of the population is either overweight or obese, and that's a huge thing. We know that, lifestyle diseases are running rampant among our population because, people have made other choices besides self-care. And many of these diseases are things that can be prevented and are within our control. But like I said, many people have chosen to focus on other things besides self-care. So today, let's talk about your health and why it's important. And I deal with a lot of people who want to lose weight, who are working to lose weight, who are struggling to lose weight. But very rarely do I meet someone who really prioritizes his or her health and really focus on getting healthy first. Right? Most people just focus on what the body looks like, and not realizing that over the long term, your body's ability to maintain the weight that you want to maintain, any kind of optimal weight, your body's ability to maintain optimal weight is going to depend on the health of that body. And by the health of that body, I'm talking about your metabolic health. Right? Your metabolic health without medication. So today we're going to talk about what is your metabolic health and why is it important, and why has it proven over the past couple of years that it is the most important thing for us to focus on, because those of us who have excellent metabolic health are less susceptible to, coronaviruses and other superbugs. So ask yourself this question: are you really healthy? What medications are you taking? What kind of health condition is your body in? That is always the first place to start. So let's explore your metabolic health today. But before we get started, I'd like to take this time to remind you of a few important resources that are available to you. Number one, my free masterclass. The top 3 things you must do to lose weight and keep it off. Okay, if you're struggling with weight as an issue, then you must check out that masterclass. There's also my webinar, Get Your Sexy Back. If you're ready to truly transform your body and your life, then please sign up for the webinar. It's free. You also have access to a free health strategy call with me when you're ready to move forward in a powerful way. I also have a vault of coaching videos at my website, personalfitness.com. You can find all of that, sign up for all of that at my website, personalfitness.com. And lastly, please consider subscribing to this podcast. There is a link in the episode notes. And thank you. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate you. All right, guys, when I talk about metabolic health, a lot of people think I'm talking about their metabolism. And, while metabolism is a part of metabolic health, it's much, much bigger than that. Your metabolic health is made up of several factors. Number one, the amount of fat around your midsection. Number two, your blood sugar. Number three, your cholesterol levels. Number four, your blood pressure. Number five, your triglycerides, the blood fat, level of blood fat in the blood. Okay, so these are things that you can easily get measured at your next physical. Your doctors usually, when they take a blood test, they usually have access to all of this information and probably shares it with you, but you don't even remember it. Okay, so these are things to be mindful of. This is what we're talking about metabolic health and optimal metabolic health. If your midsection, your waist is, for women, we want your waist to be less than 35, men less than 40. Your fasting blood sugar level should be less than 100, or I usually go by A1C, which is your average over time, should be less than 5.7. Cholesterol, your HDL cholesterol level for women should be greater than 50, men greater than 40. Women are generally more healthier than men, so to speak. Blood pressure, blood pressure should be less than 130 over 85. Triglycerides less than 150. If you're not hitting those numbers, so next time you go have a physical, I'm due for a physical next week. Next time you go have a physical, just really go over these numbers with your doctor. Tell them you're interested in your optimal metabolic health and go over these numbers with your doctor because it's important. Because here's the deal. Only 12% of Americans 12% of Americans are in these, what I call the 12% club. Only 12%. The majority of Americans do not have optimal metabolic health because they have one or more of these factors. They can't meet one or more of these numbers. For most people, they can't meet any of these numbers. Okay? Now let's start with your waist. If you're carrying a lot of your excess fat around your waist, then that tells us that you are probably carrying a lot of what we call visceral fat, right? There's a difference between adipose tissue and visceral fat. Adipose tissue is the fat that sits under your skin, over your muscles. Visceral fat is a type of fat that wraps around your organs and it's bad news, because it can wrap around your lungs, cause fatty lungs, wrap around your heart, and it just wraps around your organs. And this is not a good thing. This develops a lot of inflammation in the body. And another thing is, this can cause breathing problems. Consequently, people who are extremely overweight and obese didn't fare too well with the coronavirus because the excess fat around the midsection pushes up on the lower lobes of the lung, which is where oxygenated blood collects to be pumped out to the rest of your body. And when you're having a hard time, with getting that blood to the rest of your body on top of COVID infection, it's going to end up not so good. A lot of people end up on ventilators because, of course, you can't breathe, right? A lot of inflammation in the lungs, you can't breathe, so you end up on ventilators. So this is one of the important things. So if your waist, guys, is greater than 40, ladies, if your waist is greater than 35, it should be of concern to you because that tells you you're carrying a lot of fat around your midsection and it's not the good type of fat. It is fat that you should be concerned about. It is fat that can ultimately affect your health negatively. It is fat that is causing severe inflammation buildup in your body. Okay, so the next thing is your blood glucose levels. We know that diabetes is running rampant in this country, but what people don't realize is that pre-diabetes is just as dangerous and probably even more common among the population. Among the adult population in the US, the last stat I saw was that 1 in 3 people had prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means that you are just a hop, skip, and a jump away from developing full-blown diabetes. So nothing to sneeze at. It's a real health concern. It's a real issue that you should be concerned about. 1 in 3. So next time you get together with a couple of your friends, chances are one of you has prediabetes and may not even know it. 1 in 3. So really think about that. Next time you get together with 2 of your friends, chances are one of you have prediabetes and may not even know it, because the majority of people who have prediabetes don't even know that they do. A lot of people who have diabetes don't even know that they have diabetes until they get the diagnosis. So the numbers for prediabetes is even greater than those with diabetes. And, if you don't do something about it, it will eventually turn into full-blown diabetes, which is not a pretty thing. I've watched my mom suffer from diabetes for years before she finally decided to, do something about her health. So you can change, you can reverse all of these health conditions. And that's one of the things that people don't realize. You can reverse all these health conditions. Your cholesterol levels, of course, you can reverse your cholesterol levels. You don't have to remain on statins for the rest of your life. Diabetes, of course, you can reverse diabetes. There are ways of eating to reverse these conditions. You don't have to settle for managing these conditions. Blood pressure. You know how many millions of Americans are on high blood pressure medication, and they don't think that, let me change up my lifestyle so I can get off these medication. No, because doctors, here's what your doctors do. Most of the doctors will put you on medication. Why? Not because that's really what they believe in. They put you on medication because they know it's the easiest choice. They know it's the easiest choice, that you are probably not going to do what you need to do in order to reverse your condition. So the easiest thing for them to do is to put you on medication. Same for cholesterol. They put you on medication because they don't think you're going to do what you need to do. You can reverse all these things with lifestyle changes. So it's not a matter of you have to be on medication in order to manage these conditions. That's a bunch of baloney. You don't need to manage any condition. Your lifestyle diseases, you don't need to manage them. You can get rid of them. So why would you want to sit around managing conditions that you can get rid of with simple lifestyle intervention? So those are the things to think about. And here's a problem with a lot of these conditions, right? Visceral fat, high blood sugar, high cholesterol levels, high blood pressure, high blood fat, triglycerides. All of these conditions lead to elevated inflammation levels in the body, right? Inflammation is a natural thing, right? It's a thing that it's a natural process of your immune system. When you burn your finger, right, you see that a little bubble of liquid collects over the burn area, and that's the inflammatory response. That's a natural response for your body to try and protect itself, right? It's trying to protect you. But imagine that even when you don't burn yourself, that same process is taking place in your body thousands or millions of times, right? That is a process that is taking place in your body continually. So it creates a lot of problems. Most health conditions come about through elevated inflammation levels. So you get rid of elevated inflammation and you will automatically correct most adverse health conditions. This was one of the biggest problems throughout the pandemic, is inflammation, because what COVID-19 does, or what any virus do, right? Any of these breathing viruses, what they do is they increase the level of inflammation in the body, so in your cells, so dramatically that they overwhelm your body's defenses just by increasing the levels of inflammation. So your body already has this high level of inflammation from all of these adverse health conditions: being overweight, prediabetes or diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high triglycerides. These all lead to tremendous elevated inflammation levels. And you put COVID on top of that, and you see why it became a big health scare. Why for some people, it was deadly. Because that is the process. So I'm not telling you all this to scare you folks. I'm not a scaremonger. I believe in hope and inspiration and support and encouragement. That's what I'm here for you, to give you a little inspiration, support, and encouragement. I'm just telling you that your health is your choice. The health you have is the health you want to have, because those are the choices you have made. Right? So I always tell my clients, when I look at your body today, I can see where your thinking has been in the past year. When you look at my body, you'll see where my thinking has been in the past year, because I focus on my health. So your body is the collection of your thoughts over the past months and years. Right? This is where you are. So your health is the result of where your focus has been over the past years. If your focus hasn't been on self-care, then obviously you don't have optimal metabolic health. But it's never too late to start. That's the point. It's never too late to start. You can start today, start now, and you can achieve optimal metabolic health no matter where you are, no matter your health, right? No matter your age. It doesn't matter. You can obtain optimal metabolic health. You can start working on it today, and you will get healthier. You can change your body. You can change the fat around your midsection, reduce the amount of visceral fat, thereby inflammation, reduce inflammation. You can reduce your blood sugar, thereby reducing inflammation. You can reduce your cholesterol levels, thereby reducing inflammation. You can reduce your blood pressure. You can use lifestyle intervention. You don't need medication for any of these conditions. Just by creating a new lifestyle, right? A healthier lifestyle. And it all starts with a choice. It all starts with a choice, and every choice starts with a thought, right? You thinking, what is it you want? What is it you're creating? Who are you becoming? Who do you want to be? So think about that. What does your next decade look like? What does your next year look like? What do you want it to be? Who's the future self that you want to create? Most people don't think about these things, but think about them, because you can achieve all of these things, right? You can become better. You can create optimal metabolic health. You can become the best version of yourself. People ask me what this podcast is about, Energize Your Life. Well, Energize Your Life is really about living your best life. But in order to live your best life, you have to first become your best self. You have to create the best version of yourself. And in order to do that, well, your health is important. Your self-care is important. Right? You have to work on your self-care. You have to work on getting your confidence back. You have to learn how to manage your mind. Those are the things that we're going to be talking about as we're going forward. Those 3 pillars, because that's really what it means to energize your life, to live your best life. But to live your best life starts with creating the best version of yourself, okay? So keep that in mind and ask yourself this question as I leave. What is it that you're willing to do today to create the best version of yourself tomorrow? What one thing can you commit to right now to create the best version of yourself? Okay. All right. That's all I've got for you today. I hope you're doing well. And as usual, as I always leave you by saying, may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. And don't forget to subscribe and leave me a review of the podcast. It really does help. Take care now. I will catch you on the other side. Bye. You've been listening to Energize Your Life After 50 with me, your host, Dr. Del Millers. For all the resources mentioned in this episode, you can check the show notes or go to my website at personalfitness.com. There, you can sign up for the free masterclass, the free webinar, a free health strategy call, and have access to my vault of coaching videos, all for free. So check out the website at personalfitness.com. See you next time.